Okay, I'm back with another video. I apologize right away for the quality of the visual. My screen recording software has terrible audio at the moment, so I'm gonna have terrible visual by recording my screen with a camera, just so that you can make out the audio. Hopefully the audio will be helpful to you. It won't be pointless in doing this. Hopefully someone will gain something from this. I'm not a pro player by any stretch. I'm not the guy who gets first or second every FNM. I have, but I'm usually the guy that gets third and fourth every FNM. So, which is kind of frustrating, but anyways. Hopefully someone will gain some knowledge going into the pre-release tomorrow or the release next week of Rise of the Eldrazi. First, looking at some of the spoilers that came out. This one and that one. I liked some of the cards, but I wasn't overly impressed. Now that I've seen the whole set, I give it 2 thumbs up. It's also interesting to note that if you don't know this already, it is a standalone draft set. Supposed to be. I don't know what your store will do, but it's supposed to be standalone draft set. I'll talk about at the end, hopefully, a couple of strategies, or maybe during, in drafting. If you're going to table draft, I mean sit around the table and pass the packs. And if you're sealed, I'll just kind of point at some amazing cards. Obviously, Gideon is amazing. Some people have asked online, I guess they don't understand him, and just, you know, how he's so amazing, but the fact that you put him out, uses first ability, everything has to attack you, and he has 8 loyalty. 8 loyalty for 5 mana? That is insane. And remember, they're all attacking him. You know, people, I guess, think right away, well, it's going to lose loyalty. But no, you can still block. And there are an umpteen thousand walls in this set. So, what you're doing, you're tapping them out. If you've got some of the red walls, like the guy with the big 5 power, and you've got guys that can, you know, deal damage, then you're actually potentially killing off their creatures with his first ability. And building them up to just crazy loyalty. Not to mention, of course, it plays into his second ability very well. Gideon Juria is getting a lot of hype, and I think he deserves it. Obviously amazing and limited, but good all around, I think. My opinion on the levelers, give you the heads up now. And I'll talk about strategies as I go, I guess. The levelers are good. They are good. Don't think any less than good of them. I mean, and not just for guys like this, not just for a Student of Warfare, who is probably the best one of them all, but they're all good. In Limited, they're amazing, and in Constructed, you know, guys like this and some more will see play. Definitely. Here's why they're good in, one reason why they're amazing in Limited. Time of Heroes is uncommon. There's that blue guy that levels up your guys, he's only a common. Like, for these reasons, very draftable in table draft. You can pick them very high picks, but also, you know, easy to build a deck around levelers in Constructed, in Sealed. This thing is insane, and I'm sure you've heard that all over the internet already. Wall of Omens, the white Wall of Blossoms. For those of you who don't play Magic a lot and don't realize how powerful the card is, I'll just give you a heads up. If you're table drafting, if you're, you know, just taking 3 packs and passing them, keep trying to give clarity in everything I say. Treat this as a good removal spell. And I don't say that to emphasize or to exaggerate to make a point. I'm serious. Treat this when you're drafting as a good removal spell. Take it that high. Don't pick it over the best removal spells in the set. Like, obviously you're going to take Consuming Vapors over a Wall of Omens. But my point is, treat it as a good removal spell. So it's that high a pick when you're picking cards in your draft, because it stops most things and you don't lose tempo because you draw the card. So, amazing card. Blue, I'll just say this about blue, like, well, obviously Merfolk is going to be cool, but maybe it's going to be hard to pull off Limited. Blue is strong in this set. Remember that they're trying to catch blue up because it was slow. Now, Worldwake helped it. I mean, Jace was a huge help. But this set. I believe blue is fairly strong. Like, if you get a few flyers in a card like this, that's just crazy. Gravitational shift, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't just... I'm not saying it's a card that you'd... Oh, I got gravitational shift, I'm playing blue. But, like, if you've got that and a bunch of flyers, play blue. Blue is strong in this set. Don't be afraid to get into blue. People weren't when it was weaker, so steer towards it by all means. Some really crazy stuff in blue. So, well, this training ground is just ridiculous in certain situations. I like the Arrogant Bloodlord. There's, besides the tokens that are being made, the Eldrazi drone tokens, there's not a whole lot of 1 power guys in the set, and you want to watch for that. You want to see what the power is roundabouts, and I think 4 is the toughness, and you know, around 3 mark, 2 and 3 mark is the power. Besides the huge spells, which I'll get to, I guess, in a bit. These 2 cards are both crazy. Consuming Vapors is just ridiculous. But I'm not really going to talk about the rares much because they're more obvious, I think. You know, which rares are good. Usually, that's hyped all over the internet. Shrivel is good. Remember, if people are going to be playing those little tokens, and you keep them from sacking them for their Eldrazi spells if you play cards like Shrivel. Vendetta is really good too if you're going to play that the guy up here that I said was good. The wish I remembered his name instead of just scroll. The Arrogant Bloodlord. Vendetta seems to be built to help him out. Getting near the end of this YouTube video length, so I'm going to try and cruise through. So I want to talk about the auras, totem armor, and I want to talk about Eldrazi tokens as different ways to play. The red walls are amazing. Red, of course, is just ridiculous in this set. I don't know if everyone would realize that right away, but it is. Don't underestimate or overestimate this guy. Pingers are always good and limited. Always good. Everyone's saying he's terrible. He's one of the worst levelers, and by rights, they're probably right. He's not that great, but don't underestimate him either, because if, like, leveling a guy up, you're only going to do it when it's best suits you. You don't have to do it. But if you manage to get him to a bolt every turn, that is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, otherwise, he's an expensive leveler, and no, he's not that great. But don't underestimate him either. Don't pick him high in table draft, but he is playable, at least. Let me put it that way. This card is good. 4 toughness is a pretty common thing in this set. This guy's amazing. I don't think I need to tell anyone that. The Killing Fiend. Lust for War, amazing. Just think about the numbers here. If you have a guy with 2 power and you're swinging with him, you take 1 hit first because the guy has to attack. You take the hit. They take 3 damage. If your guy has 2 power, that means the thing you're enchanting with Lust for War has to have 5 power in order for you to tie the race. If you have a 2 power creature, his guy needs to have 5 power, or else you're going to win the race. It's a really good card. It's crazy in the right. You build your deck around it, it's amazing. Lust for War, like the card a lot. This thing is just crazy good too. This wall that makes people attack, and it's got 5 power and all this stuff. A lot of good. I like Stagger Shock more than most. This thing is silly. If you play a lot of walls, that thing's silly. This thing I underrated because it kills tokens, kills drones, and I mean it's a win condition. It's not. It's nowhere near top pick. Like I was rating it really low because I thought it was terrible, but it's better than I gave it credit.